You can really rely on his instincts. He's wonderful, and he makes the atmosphere.
Hello. Everyone saw Robin Williams as the funny man on screen. But Sally Field saw something more. When she opened up about his behavior on the set of Mrs. Doubtfire, it revealed a side of him few ever knew. What did she witness that left a lasting impact? Let's uncover the story behind the laughter and get ready to see Robin Williams in a new light. How they first crossed paths. When Sally Field first met Robin Williams, it wasn't during some glamorous Hollywood party or a fancy award show. It was on the set of Mrs. Doubtfire in 1993, a film that would later become one of the most beloved family comedies of all time. Directed by Chris Columbus, the film told the story of a father so desperate to stay close to his children after a divorce that he disguised himself as an elderly Scottish nanny. Robin Williams was cast in the lead role of Daniel Hillard, who transformed into the unforgettable Mrs. Doubtfire, while Sally Field played Miranda, his ex-wife, trying to move forward and protect her children. Their first encounter was not just a meeting of two talented actors, but the beginning of a heartfelt connection. From the moment they stepped onto the set together, there was a unique kind of energy. Sally Field wasn't just acting alongside a comedy legend. She was stepping into scenes with someone who brought a different spark every time the camera rolled. Williams was known for his unpredictable style. He would often do a few takes just as the script required and then suddenly shift gears without warning. He would start improvising, throwing in lines that no one expected, voices that made people laugh and gestures that turned even simple moments into something extraordinary. At first, it could have been overwhelming for any co-star. But Sally Field was not just any actress. She embraced the challenge with grace and curiosity. She didn't try to compete with his wild improvisations. Instead, she reacted to them in real time, allowing her characters' responses to feel more natural and deeply rooted in the moment. Their scenes together were a dance between structure and spontaneity. Every take felt fresh because Williams never did anything the same way twice. This forced Field to stay present and grounded, which made her performance even stronger. Behind the camera, the crew was constantly adapting to Robin's style. Director Chris Columbus even decided to use multiple cameras at once during filming. He knew that trying to capture Robin's magic from a single angle would be impossible. He wanted to make sure nothing was missed. Field, watching this process unfold, quickly came to respect not just Williams' comedic genius, but also his tireless dedication to getting things right. He wasn't doing it just to show off or steal the scene. He wanted the film to be honest, heartfelt, and funny in a way that touched people. They were playing a divorced couple, but their real-life connection felt warm and thoughtful. Field saw the sensitive man behind the humor, someone who cared deeply about people and the work they were creating together. And Williams, in turn, admired Field's ability to stay calm, focused, and emotionally available, even when he was throwing the unexpected at her. Their bond was formed through this collaboration, through the shared understanding that they were telling a story that mattered. Their first time working together didn't just result in a great movie. It created a memory that Field would carry with her for the rest of her life. Their meeting wasn't just a moment in a production schedule. It was the beginning of a friendship shaped by laughter, trust, and mutual respect. And it all began the day they stood across from each other, ready to bring Mrs. Doubtfire to life. It wasn't an ordinary connection. It was something different and unique. Let's take a closer look at what truly made their bond stand out and why the friendship between Sally Field and Robin Williams became one of quiet magic behind the scenes. A connection rooted in respect and Creativity. From the very beginning of their work together, Sally Field could tell that Robin Williams wasn't just another funny man. He was something much deeper. His wild energy and quick wit were already well known. But what truly surprised her was his serious commitment to acting. He wasn't just there to make people laugh. He cared deeply about the work, about telling the story right, and about being fully present in every moment. That level of passion stood out, especially to someone like Field, who had always taken her craft seriously. When they started filming Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin had a routine. He would do 3 takes just as the script required. He stuck to the lines, followed the direction, and delivered what was expected. But then something magical would happen. After those 3 takes, he would start to play. He would let his creativity take over. He would improvise, shifting the lines, trying new voices, changing expressions, and creating moments no one had written down. The air on set would change. It became electric and alive, as if anything could happen next. For some actors, this kind of unpredictability might have been frustrating. But for Sally Field, it brought something special to the work. Instead of sticking rigidly to her lines, she began responding to Robin's surprises in the moment. Her reactions became more real. The emotions that came out during the scenes weren't always rehearsed, but they were honest. It made the characters feel more human, more relatable, and more deeply connected. Robin's energy was contagious, and it made the set of Mrs. Doubtfire feel more like a shared adventure than a job. He would come to work full of ideas and open to the unexpected. That sense of freedom allowed the cast and crew to breathe creatively. Field didn't try to match Robin's speed or inventiveness. Instead, she brought balance. While Robin would often take things in new directions, Field stayed grounded. That contrast created a powerful chemistry. Their scenes together had layers of humor and emotion that grew from their very different but equally strong styles. What truly set their connection apart was the respect that flowed between them. Robin respected Sally for her calm strength and emotional honesty. She respected him for his bravery and boundless imagination. Neither one tried to overshadow the other. They simply worked together, each lifting the other higher. It was not about stealing the scene. It was about telling the story in the most honest and moving way possible. Off camera, that same mutual respect continued. Robin was never too busy to share a kind word or make someone laugh, even when the cameras weren't rolling. He paid attention to the people around him, noticing when someone needed a boost or a break from the pressure. Field saw this side of him too, and it stayed with her. It showed her that behind the whirlwind of characters and jokes was a deeply caring person who wanted to make people feel better both on and off the screen. Their connection was not loud or flashy. It was rooted in trust, built through moments of real collaboration and creative courage. They allowed each other to be fully themselves, and that trust allowed them to create something unforgettable. The laughter, the tears, and the truth in their scenes came from that bond. Apart from this special connection, Sally Field noticed something else about Robin Williams, something quiet, hidden behind all the laughter. It was a side of Robin that no one really knew about. And years later, she finally decided to speak up and share what she had seen. A friend who could read the room. When Sally Field got the news that her father had died, she was on the Mrs. Doubtfire set trying her best to stay professional. She was in the camper near the mock courtroom where they were filming the emotional divorce scene. Her father, who had suffered a stroke years earlier, was in a nursing home. His passing hit her hard, and though she wanted to act through the pain, the grief was overwhelming. Yet, she didn't break down. In front of the cameras. At first, Sally tried to hold it together. She walked onto set, positioned herself in the camper near the courtroom, and focused on the camera and her character. She was a two-time Oscar winner who had built a career on professionalism, and she intended to act through the grief. She didn't cry. She just tried with all her might to be the actress she'd trained to be. Robin Williams, however, noticed right away that something was wrong. He wasn't just joking or playing a character. He was watching Sally carefully. He felt her tension and her sorrow, even though she tried to hide it. Without any delay, he walked over to her, quietly but firmly pulled her away from the set and asked, "Are you okay?" She told him the truth. "My father just died." It was the toughest thing she'd said all day. What happened next revealed just how deeply he cared. He didn't hesitate. He said, "Oh my God, we need to get you out of here right now." Even though he was the lead actor and even a co-producer with a tight schedule and lots of scenes to shoot, he knew the only thing matters at that moment was Sally's well-being. Robin immediately spoke to director Chris Columbus because he had influence behind the camera as well. He was able to change the shoot order on the spot. "Can we shoot those courtroom crossover shots without Sally today? Let's rearrange. She needs to go," Williams urged. Scenes involving Sally were moved or delayed. While she grieved and made funeral arrangements, the rest of the cast and crew picked up the work. "They shot around me the rest of the day," Field recalled quietly. It wasn't just a professional courtesy. Robin had seen beyond the character, beyond the script, to the person who needed help. He stayed by her side until she could leave the set and figure out arrangements with her brother and family. Sally has said this was a side of Robin that few people ever got to see in public. He was very sensitive and intuitive, someone who understood emotions and acted to protect people. For Sally, who had spent decades in Hollywood and known many stars, it was especially moving to see such compassion from someone so beloved and in the spotlight. Robin didn't just care about his own character or his performance. He cared about the world around him, about family, love, grief. He saw Sally's pain and made sure the entire set paused to support her. Looking back, Sally has called the moment unforgettable. She remembers sitting in that camper, feeling numb, not sure how she would continue the day. And then Robin's presence, like a friend stepping in to offer shelter in a storm. He didn't speak loudly or make a big scene. There was no speech, no announcement. He just knew what to do. That quiet intervention has stayed with her, and it shaped how she remembers him forever. It wasn't part of the script, but it was one of the most real moments on that set. Robin Williams had a reputation for energy, improvisation, and comedic brilliance. But this moment revealed a deeper truth. He was a friend who could read the room. He could sense someone's pain and step in without hesitation. It was his kindness that spoke loudest, not his jokes. Years later, even after both of them had left Hollywood's main stage, Sally has shared this story with fresh eyes and a full heart. She said, "I never shared this story before." She was not seeking praise, only remembering an honest moment of humanity. She said that Robin's reaction was a side of him people rarely saw. He was genuinely caring. It meant the world to Sally because she wasn't just losing a father. She was far away, working, acting in the midst of a scene that had to go on. She couldn't just break down. But Robin made sure she didn't have to pretend. She could step away. She could have space and she could grieve. That moment stands out in the memory of Mrs. Doubtfire, a film known for its laughter and disguise. Yet, this behind-the-scenes moment brought real grace. when the world knew Robin Williams as a whirlwind of hilarity, Sally Field knew him that day as a protector, a friend, a human being who felt other people's pain and took action. This kindness wasn't just for Sally Field. Robin Williams shared it with everyone around him. Let's take you deeper into another side of his personality, one that revealed just how generous and caring he truly was. A legacy carved in kindness. What truly set Robin Williams apart was not just his talent or energy. It was his heart. Kindness poured out of him. Not just when the cameras were rolling, but all the time. Sally Field wasn't the only one who experienced his gentle nature. Everyone on set, from actors to assistants to lighting crew, felt his warmth. He made time for everyone, remembered their names, asked about their lives, and offered a smile when someone needed it. He treated people, never like background noise. One crew member once shared how Robin would spend lunch breaks chatting with the grips or makeup artists, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. He noticed people. He made them feel seen and important. He had a way of lifting the mood just by being himself. If someone was having a rough day, Robin often found a quiet way to help them feel better, whether with a laugh, a kind word, or simply by listening. This compassion extended far beyond the film sets. Robin Williams co-founded Comic Relief USA, a charity that raised millions to support the homeless. He gave generously to causes that mattered to him, including literacy programs, veteran services, and organizations helping people with disabilities. He was a star, yes, but he used his spotlight to illuminate others. He didn't just talk about change, he helped create it. And he did it with sincerity and humility. Sally Field has spoken with deep emotion about the impact Robin had on her life. Years passed, but she still feels his presence. She once said, "He should be growing old like me." There's sorrow in that sentence. There's the ache of missing a friend who left too soon. But there's also the deep recognition of who he truly was, a rare soul with a bright light that touched everyone he met. Their friendship went far beyond one film. It became a bond that lived on, rooted in moments of laughter and moments of comfort. Sally often reflects on the day Robin helped her off set when her father died. That wasn't a grand gesture meant for headlines.